And I invite now Madame Carvalho to present her report and her.
President Buzoy, dear colleagues, good morning. Let me beginning by thanking all the colleagues with whom I've been working in close collaboration in the EIT files. We are making an effort to discuss the two reports jointly, and I should like to thank the rapporteur, Mrs. Matias, and all the shadow rapporteurs for the constructive comments, very positive atmosphere, and in addition to thank the ITRE Secretariat, the assistants, the group advisors for the valuable assistance in very difficult times that we are living today. So I'm going to start with the description of the general description of my report, that is the Strategic Innovation Agenda, and I will also complete, as Mrs. Matias, on the package that we now are finalizing for the EIT response to the COVID-19. So in my report, I base and I address three major principles. Balance in terms of a better balance of the knowledge triangle, a better balance on geographical distribution, also a principle of sustainability, from the financial sustainability of the KICs to the content, environmental and economic and social sustainability of the contents that the KICs deal with. And the third principle, the simplification of the rules and procedures. Based on these three principles, I've prepared the amendments, and I would like to stand out five thematic measures that are based on these three principles. First one, a set of amendments that we should look at the three edges of the triangle, the education, the research, and the innovation, in a balanced and integrated way. We should not separate one from each other, but they all should contribute to a more integrated innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem in Europe. So a set of amendments for a better balance and integration of the three parts of the triangle. The second is a set of amendments that we need to make EIT more transparent, more open, and more visible to all over Europe. To have more transparency in the calls, to select KICs, partners, collocation centers. So there is a set of amendments on this topic. Third, to strengthen the use of the Regional Innovation Scheme and to make use of the Regional Innovation Scheme to do a link to the regional funds, to the regional policies, and to the local ecosystems. Fourth, a major simplification on the financial and administrative rules of the EIT, streamlining the rules with Horizon Europe. Fifth, the new KICs. We support the new KIC proposed by the Commission on culture and creative industries. However, we propose that this KIC also considers the preservation and valorization of the European culture, heritage, and arts. And we propose a theme for the second KIC that we call the water KIC, linked to waters, availability of water, quality of water, sea, rivers, lakes. So a very important topic at European level. As also was already mentioned to Mrs. Matias, our reports were finalizing end of February, beginning of March, just before the crisis of the COVID-19, so they didn't reflect the present situation. So we have agreed, the two of us, and also with the shadows, because we had a shadows meeting mainly devoted to this topic, to prepare a set of amendments that will enable EIT to contribute in a very positive way to the recovery plan and to solve to contribute to the solution of the present situation. So we propose that each KIC elaborates a 2-year business plan that detail a strategy how they can mitigate the effect of the present crisis. So we have three sets of amendments for that. So it's a new package that we are going to include now in the amendments. One is the KICs, all the KICs contributing to the recovery plan through more target programs and proposals that will contribute to support business restructuring, special SMEs, startups, and other stakeholders, to contribute also for more liquidity and support to a better access to finance, and to contribute for a better economic recovery and to a proper function of the market. We create also special targets without going to details, because we respect the autonomy of the KICs, but extra activities for the health KIC and the digital KIC. We think that the health KIC can contribute very positively for the development, to at least to follow and to be part of the this joint effort that is going on all over Europe, to development of vaccines, testing methods, and treatments against COVID-19. So we propose that there is an extra package of activities for KIC Health on the area of COVID-19. For the EIT Digital, we also think that this KIC has a very important role to play to help to provide innovative, reliable solutions for the present situation that will enable for efficient ways to remote working, learning, teaching, communicating, and to develop security tools for e-commerce. A third package of amendments is related with to give the EIT and the KICs the flexibility that they need to cope with the situation in terms of administrative costs, funding model, derogation. So we went through our previous two reports and we tried to give the most flexibility possible, because really to respond to the present crisis, EIT needs flexibility to be able to work in a decentralized way, remote working methods, less travel, more uncertainty, and social distance. So we are making an effort to make sure that the IT can correspond to the difficult times and the crisis that Europe is going to unfortunately go through in the next months. So by the way of the conclusion, let me thank those colleagues that I've already commented and are sending amendments. And it's with pleasure that I anticipate to continue along this path that we have already traveled along, and ask the colleagues to send their comments, amendments, informal to us, to table through groups of colleagues or through the groups, their ideas to improve our joint work. Thank you very much.
Now I invite Madame Carvalho for the final conclusions.
And my colleagues for the comments. I think there is a strong support for the knowledge triangle balance, also for the regional balance and the reinforcement of the use of the RIS, the Regional Innovation Scheme, and the links with the regional funds, the diversification of partners, the participation of SMEs, the less bureaucracy, more openness, transparency, visibility, working close to the citizens. All that, there is a strong support for all the colleagues, and is already in the report, but we can strengthen even the text in some parts. And also there was overall support for the COVID-19 part. And on this point, I want to thank Robert Ross, because he was actually the one that pushes and the initiator for us to start with this package. And I thank him for all, and the support of all the shadows, and working very closely with Marisa to put this package together in a few days. There was 3 suggestions that probably are still or weak or need to be reinforced. One was mentioned by President Buzek, the link to the major EU policies, Green Deal, climate change, industrial policy, digitalization. Probably I can reinforce that in the amendment. A colleague, I think from the Greens, has said that the link to resilience, the resilience concept, and Mr. Nika said the link with the international cooperation, the third countries' participation. Probably these 3 points still can be reinforced. Where I see some of the still we need to discuss more to get a common position and negotiate. There are some different opinions on the new kicks. Some questions about the calendar, flexibility of the subject of the second kick that probably needs to still further discussion. The administrative costs, everyone agrees that should be lower. My original report I had indicate 5%. Some colleagues think that is too restrict. Some others like the idea. So we need to find a common line that indicates that should be lower, but we don't restrict or jeopardize the activities of the KICs. The gender dimension, I think that there was only a question of misunderstanding that Marisa Matias has explained. Our main criteria is excellence of the proposal and of the consortium. Only if we have equal terms, we go to see SME participation, diversification of regions and countries, and also gender diversification. This is the common criteria for Horizon 2020, Horizon Europe, that we are following. The financial sustainability, there is also some diversion after how to finance after the 15 years, or if to finance after the 15 years, the 3 initial kits. So these are the points that probably needs to be a bit elaborated and discussed between all the political groups. But I look forward to a very fruitful discussion like it has been until now, and a lot of very good contribution from all the rapporteurs and shadows and colleagues, that we end up with very strong reports for the benefit of the EIT and the innovation in Europe. Thank you very much.